You're supposed to look out for your wingman. That's the first rule, the only rule that matters. I didn't look out for mine, and he died because of it. 20 years I've been carrying that. 20 years of knowing that if I'd checked my 6 one more time, if I'd glanced left instead of right, if I'd done anything differently in that split second, Danny Parker would be alive. Would have gone home to his wife, would have met his daughter. She was born 3 months after he died. 3 months. But I didn't. And he's not. I'm Captain Michael Brennan, United States Air Force, 51st Fighter Interceptor Wing. I flew F-86 Sabres during the Korean War, 1952 to 1953. 27 missions over Mig Alley before the one that matters, before the one I can't forget. I'm 43 years old now. Still flying, though I'm mostly a desk jockey these days. Training new pilots, teaching them combat tactics, teaching them the rules, teaching them to protect their wingman. Always protect your wingman. I tell them about Danny sometimes, not the whole story, just enough to make the point, just enough to scare them into taking it seriously. But I never tell them the truth, that I see him every time I close my eyes, that I hear his voice on the radio, calm and professional right up until the end, that I dream about those 3 seconds when I could have saved him and didn't. December 17th, 1952. Clear winter morning over northwest Korea. Temperature at altitude, minus 30 degrees Celsius. Visibility, unlimited. Perfect flying weather. The kind of day where you could see forever. The kind of day where there was no excuse for not seeing what was coming. We were on patrol near the Yalu River, me and Danny. We'd flown together for 8 months by then, knew each other's moves, trusted each other completely. That's what makes a good wingman pair. Trust. You trust them to be there, to watch your back, to save your life when you need them to. And they trust you to do the same. Danny trusted me that morning, trusted me completely, and I let him down. The mission briefing said to expect MiGs. The Chinese were getting more aggressive, Soviet pilots flying North Korean colors. They'd been hitting our bomber formations hard. Our job was to clear them out, engage and destroy. Simple. We'd done it dozens of times, but this time was different. This time, I made a mistake. And Danny paid for it. We picked up the MiGs at 25,000 feet, 4 of them. MiG-15S, flying in a loose finger 4 formation. Chinese or Soviet pilots, hard to tell from the markings, but from the way they flew, I guessed Soviet. They were good. Too good for North Korean pilots. Tally-ho, I called. Bogies at 2 o'clock high, 4 MiG-15. I see them. Danny's voice came through the radio. Calm. Always calm. That was Danny. Nothing rattled him. First time we flew together, I nearly put us into a spin, pulling too hard, and he just laughed about it afterward. Said it was the most fun he'd had since the county fair back home. We were outnumbered 2 to 1. Standard tactics said we should call for backup, stay defensive. But we had altitude advantage and the element of surprise. The MiGs hadn't seen us yet. Let's take them, I said. You take the left pair, I'll take the right. Roger that, Danny said. Let's make it quick. Sarah's due any day now. I want to get home. Sarah, his wife, pregnant with their first kid. He talked about her constantly. Had her picture taped to his instrument panel. Showed it to everyone. He was so damn excited to be a father. 3 months. 3 months later, she'd have their daughter. Name her after him, Danielle. And he'd never meet her. We dove on them. The F-86 was faster than the MiG-15 in a dive. We had seconds to close the distance before they spotted us. I lined up on the right-hand MiG. Perfect shot. 650 caliber machine guns armed. Range closing. 800 yards. 600. 400. I squeezed the trigger. Tracers walked across the sky toward the MiG. Saw them hit. Saw pieces fly off the wing. The MiG started trailing smoke, rolled over, started falling. "Splash one," I called. That's when everything went wrong. The MiG I'd hit wasn't alone. There were more of them. The briefing said 4, but there were 6, maybe 8. They'd been flying in trail, stacked vertically. We'd only seen the top section, classic ambush, and I'd flown right into it. "Break left," Danny screamed. Not calm anymore, urgent, afraid. I broke hard left. G-forces crushed me into my seat. Vision tunneling, blood draining from my head. The stick felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Tracers streaked past my canopy. Cannon fire. 37 millimeters. The MiG-15's main weapon. One hit, and you were done. The F-86 couldn't take that kind of punishment. I twisted, turned, dove. Pure instinct, no thought, just react. The MiG was on my 6, trying to stay with me, but the F-86 could turn inside him at this speed. I pulled hard, felt the airframe shudder, felt the stall warning buffet, but I held it, pulled harder. The MiG overshot. Now I was behind him. I fired, missed, fired again, hit his tail. He broke off, trailing smoke. 2 MiGs down, 6 to go. Where was Danny? "Danny, status," I called into the radio. No answer. "Danny, where are you?" Static. Then his voice, strained. "Got 2 on me. Can't shake them. Mike, I need help." I looked, searched the sky. The battle had scattered us. MiGs and sabers turning and burning, contrails writing white lines across the blue. There, 2 o'clock low, a saber with 2 MiGs chasing him. Had to be Danny. He was in a shallow dive, trying to build speed, but the MiGs were staying with him. But there was another MiG. Higher up, diving toward me. If I went after Danny, this one would nail me. I'd have to deal with him first. Split-second decision. Deal with my threat, then help Danny. He could hold on for 30 seconds. He was good. He could hold on. I turned into the diving MiG, head-on pass, both of us firing, tracers crossing in the space between us. Insane, like jousting. First one to flinch loses. I didn't flinch, neither did he. We flashed past each other at a combined speed of over 1,000 miles per hour. So close I could see his face, Asian features, young, maybe younger than me. I wondered if he was scared, then I wondered if I was. Didn't have time to wonder long. I reversed, looking for him. He was below me, trying to come around. I had the advantage, dove on him. Quick burst, saw hits. He started smoking but kept flying. Tough bastard. "Mike," Danny's voice, different now, panicked. "Mike, I'm hit. I'm hit." My blood went cold. I looked for him, found him. He was lower now, trailing smoke. Still had both MiGs on him. They were taking turns. One would fire while the other positioned, coordinated, professional. They knew what they were doing. I abandoned my target, dove toward Danny, full throttle, the Saber's engine screaming, the airframe shaking. But I was too far away, too far. "Eject," I shouted. "Danny, eject. Get out." "Can't." His voice was tight. Pain, fear. "Controls are shot. Hydraulics gone. Mike, I can't." One of the MiGs fired. I saw the tracers walk across Danny's aircraft, saw them hit the fuselage, the canopy, the wing. The Saber exploded. Not a fireball, just came apart. 1 second it was an aircraft. The next it was debris falling through the sky. No parachute, no ejection. Just pieces tumbling down toward the frozen mountains below. "Danny!" I was screaming into the radio, screaming his name, over and over. But he was gone, just gone. The MiGs broke off. They'd gotten their kill. They were running for the border now, back to China where we couldn't follow. Running home. I should have chased them, should have tried to kill them. Revenge, justice, something. But I just stopped. Hung there in the sky at 15,000 feet, watching the pieces of Danny's saber fall, watching them get smaller, smaller, until they disappeared into the white landscape below. Gone. The whole thing took 90 seconds. From first contact to Danny's death. 90 seconds. I'd spent 30 of them dealing with my own threat. 30 seconds that cost Danny his life. If I'd ignored my MiG, if I'd gone straight to Danny, if I'd been faster, better, smarter, but I didn't, and he died, and I lived. Flew back to base, landed, climbed out of my saber, wrote my after-action report, wrote that Lieutenant Danny Parker was killed in action at 10:43 hours, shot down by enemy aircraft, cause failure of Wingman to provide adequate cover, my fault. They didn't put that last part in the official report. The squadron commander edited it out, said it wasn't productive, said these things happen in combat, said I'd made the right tactical decision, but he wasn't there. He didn't see it. Didn't hear Danny's voice when he said he was hit. Didn't watch him die while I was too far away to help. The worst part came 2 weeks later. They asked me to write to Sarah, Danny's wife, tell her what happened. They said it would mean more coming from his wingman, from his friend, the guy who let him die. I sat at that desk for hours, staring at blank paper. What do you say? How do you tell a pregnant woman that her husband is dead? That he died scared and in pain and alone in the sky? That you could have saved him but didn't? I wrote it eventually. Lies mostly. Told her he died quickly, that he didn't suffer, that he was a hero. All the things you're supposed to say. Didn't tell her about the 30 seconds. Didn't tell her about the choice I made. Didn't tell her that I valued my own life over his. Because that's what it was, wasn't it? I chose to save myself first, chose to deal with my threat before helping him. And that choice killed him. I got a letter back 3 months later from Sarah. She'd had the baby, a girl, Danielle Marie Parker, 8 pounds, 6 ounces, healthy, beautiful. Looks just like her daddy, Sarah said. She thanked me for writing, said it helped to know, said Danny always talked about me, about how I was the best pilot he'd ever flown with, about how he trusted me completely. Trusted me completely. I kept that letter, still have it. Read it sometimes when I want to punish myself, when I need to remember what trust costs, what I cost. I never wrote back. What could I say? Congratulations on your daughter. Sorry about your husband. Sorry I let him die. Sorry I'm alive and he's not. Sorry. The word doesn't mean anything, doesn't change anything, doesn't bring him back. I finished out my tour, 64 more missions after Danny died, shot down 3 more MiGs, got a Distinguished Flying Cross, made captain, came home a decorated war hero. But every time someone congratulated me, every time someone shook my hand and thanked me for my service, I thought about Danny, about Sarah, about little Danielle growing up without a father, about 30 seconds that changed everything. The war ended in July 1953. Armistice signed. Everybody went home. Victory, they called it. Though I'm not sure anyone really won. I stayed in the Air Force. Kept flying. What else was I going to do? Flying was all I knew, all I was good at. But I never flew with a wingman again. Not if I could help it. Couldn't risk it. Couldn't trust myself. Couldn't watch another man die because of me. I'm an instructor now, have been for 10 years. Training new pilots at Williams Air Force Base in Arizona, teaching them to fly, teaching them to fight, teaching them to survive, teaching them about wingmen. Your wingman is your lifeline, I tell them. Every class, every time. You watch their back, they watch yours. You trust them with your life, they trust you with theirs. The young pilots nod, take notes, think they understand, but they don't, can't. Not until they're up there at 25,000 feet with MiGs on their six and their wingman calling for help and they have to make a choice. That's when they'll understand. That's when they'll learn what I learned over North Korea in December 1952. That sometimes the choice you make in a split second defines the rest of your life. I tell them about Danny sometimes. Sanitized version. Just the facts. Pilot shot down. Couldn't get to him in time. Lessons learned. Maintain situational awareness. Don't get separated. Always know where your wingman is. Don't tell them about the 30 seconds. Don't tell them about the choice. Don't tell them about the letter from Sarah or the daughter who'll never know her father. Don't tell them that I dream about it, that I replay it in my head thousands of times, trying different scenarios, trying to find the version where Danny lives, where I make the right choice, where I'm the hero I was supposed to be. But there is no version where Danny lives. I've tried them all. The past is fixed, immutable, unchangeable. He died. I lived. That's the only truth that matters. One of my students asked me once, kid named Roberts, sharp pilot, reminded me of Danny, asked me if I'd ever lost anyone. Yeah, I said. I've lost people. What was it like? He asked. What was it like? How do you answer that? How do you explain that losing someone isn't a moment, it's forever? That you lose them every day? That 20 years later you're still losing them? It's something you carry, I said finally. Every day, every flight. You carry them with you. Does it get easier? He asked. I looked at him. Young, eager, innocent. Still thought war was about skill and courage and doing the right thing. No, I said. It doesn't get easier. You just get used to carrying it. He nodded like he understood, but he didn't. Couldn't. Not until it happens to him. Not until he's the one making the choice. Not until he's the one writing the letter. Not until he's the one carrying the weight for 20 years and knowing he'll carry it until he dies. That's the real lesson. The one I can't teach. The one they have to learn themselves, if they survive long enough to learn it. They're recording this interview in 1972, 20 years since Danny died. 20 years of carrying him with me every single day. Someone asked me why I'm doing this interview now. Why talk about it after all this time? Truth is, I don't know. Maybe because enough time has passed that I can say the words without breaking down. Maybe because I'm hoping that talking about it will help. That confession will bring some kind of absolution, but I know better. There is no absolution, not for this. I looked Sarah up a few years ago, 1969, 17 years after Danny died. I don't know why. Curiosity, maybe, or guilt, or some sick need to see what I'd done to her life. She'd remarried. 1958, a dentist from Omaha. Good man, apparently. Helped raise Danielle, gave her siblings, gave Sarah a life. Danielle was 17 when I found them. High school senior, honor student, planning to go to college, wanted to be a teacher. She looked like Danny. Same eyes, same smile in the photograph I saw. But she'd never know it, never know what her father looked like when he smiled, never know his voice, his laugh, his dreams. All she has are the stories, second-hand memories, a name on a gravestone at Arlington, a folded flag that her mother keeps in a drawer. That's what my 30 seconds cost. Not just Danny's life, but Danielle's father, Sarah's husband. All the moments they should have had together, all the memories they should have made. Christmases, birthdays, graduations, weddings, grandchildren. A whole life that should have happened but didn't. Because I made a choice. Because I chose wrong. Because I wasn't good enough. I never contacted them. What would I say? Hi, I'm the guy who let your husband die. The guy who took your father away. The guy who destroyed your family. Sorry about that, and so I just watched from a distance, made sure they were okay, made sure Sarah had everything she needed, anonymous donations, help with college tuition for Danielle, small things, meaningless things, penance that doesn't begin to cover the debt. Vietnam is winding down now. We're pulling out, lost another war, another generation of pilots, soldiers, Marines, another generation of Dannies who won't come home. I wonder how many of them died because their wingman made the wrong choice. How many wives got letters full of lies? How many daughters will grow up without fathers? How many pilots are carrying their own 30 seconds, their own choices, their own guilt? The thing they don't tell you about being a fighter pilot, about being in combat, is that the enemy isn't the only thing trying to kill you. Your own decisions can be just as deadly, your own mistakes, your own failures, and you have to live with them every day, every flight, every time you close your eyes. Danny trusted me. That's what kills me the most. He trusted me completely, put his life in my hands, and I dropped it. The interviewer keeps asking me what I learned, what wisdom I can share, what message I want to leave. Here's the message. Protect your wingman, always, no matter what, no matter the cost. Because if you don't, you'll spend the rest of your life wishing you had. You'll spend 20 years replaying 30 seconds, trying to change the past, trying to save someone who's already gone. You'll survive. You'll go home. You'll have a life, a career, maybe even a family. But part of you will stay up there in the sky over North Korea, watching your wingman die, knowing you could have saved him, knowing you failed. I'm 43 years old, still flying when they let me, still teaching, still carrying Danny with me everywhere I go. I'll die carrying him. That's my sentence. That's my punishment. That's what 30 seconds cost. Clear skies over Mig Alley. Perfect visibility. No excuse for not seeing what was coming. No excuse for failing him. The Korean War ended 20 years ago, but I'm still fighting it, still making that choice, still watching Danny die, still hearing his voice on the radio, calm and professional right up until it wasn't, still living with the weight of 30 seconds that changed everything. You're supposed to look out for your wingman. That's the first rule, the only rule that matters. I didn't look out for mine, and he died because of it. We never came home. Not really. Danny's buried at Arlington. I'm still up there in the sky, chasing MiGs that no longer exist, trying to reach him in time, trying to save him. Always too late, always too far away, always making the wrong choice, forever. The recorder is still running. The interviewer is waiting for me to say something profound, something inspirational, something that makes sense of it all. But there's nothing profound about it, nothing inspirational. It doesn't make sense. It never will. Danny died, I lived, and I'll carry that until I die. That's all there is. That's the whole story. Clear skies and perfect visibility, and I still couldn't save him,